Updated news, 2025 MLB System Rankings, Prospect Insights Analysis. Much has changed since we ranked all 30 MLB farm systems before the 2025 season. A big part of that shift has come in the past few weeks, as the most recent prospects joined their new teams via the MLB draft and then front offices added, or subtracted, young players at the MLB trade deadline. With two of the most impactful periods for any farm system in the rearview, it's time to see how all 30 organizations stack up and what has changed most since opening day. These dollar figures are a little lower than they'll be in the winter, basically because when I do the deep dive on each system, it will reveal/upgrade more lower-tier prospects for each team, but it mostly won't affect the higher-tier prospects. This is a pretty objective process. Each prospect has a dollar value based on their rank. Obviously, there's some subjectivity in the process, too, how the players are ranked, and roughly the top 50 prospects in the sport have an empirical, but to most fans disproportionate, value. Having the most players in the top half of the top 100 is the best way to be the top-ranked team in this exercise. On that note, let's get to that first team. The Mets have hovered in the middle third of my farm rankings for years, until the beginning of the season, when they moved up to 9th. They're now on top, at the peak valuation of this crest of young talent, with a top-heavy system featuring prospects who are largely in the top 100 in either in AAA or the big leagues. This also isn't a random occurrence or glut of players who are about to graduate from being prospects at once. Ronnie Mauricio and Luis Angel Acuna already graduated this year, Christian Scott graduated last year, Brett Baty and Mark Vientos the year before that, Francisco Alvarez before that, and there have also been several mid-level prospects traded out of the system over the past two deadlines. Jesus Baez, Drew Gilbert, and Cade Morris lead the way. At this time next year, I'd expect 6 of New York's top 8 prospects, if not more, to have either graduated or be up in the big leagues to stay, so this ranking won't last very long. But that's also because the Mets will have a roster teeming with useful big leaguers, the whole reason this list exists. If you're a regular reader of my rankings, the Dodgers have fared well for a while. They've been in my top 10 farm systems the past 5 rankings, dating back to after the 2021 season. They have graduated Dalton Rushing, Justin Wrobleski, Ben Kasparius and Jack Dreyer this year, with Alex Freeland possibly joining that group before the end of the year. The top of the system mostly position players in A-ball, so the Dodgers are likely to rank high for many years. The Mariners have quietly put together a great system built on solid scouting and development while not trading their top-tier prospects. Instead, Seattle has dipped into its second tier when needed, such as moving first baseman Tyler Locklear and pitcher Brandyn Garcia to upgrade the lineup at the trade deadline. The Mariners' draft focus a few years ago was heavily on prep position players, but that has shifted a bit to include pitchers, with potential frontline starters Ryan Sloan and Cade Anderson added over the past 2 summers. A huge part of this ranking is that the Pirates have the #1 prospect in the sport in Konnor Griffin. They would be 9th on this list if he were the second prospect in baseball because there's a premium in being the best prospect. Bubba Chandler, Hunter Barco, Rafael Flores, Thomas Harrington, and Nick York are expected to be important players for next year's team. Griffin will likely move into that conversation by the second half. I don't know if this group will be enough to propel the big league team into contention, but the prospects will give Pittsburgh a chance to make that kind of move up the standings. The deadline teardown wasn't designed primarily to boost the Twins' farm rankings, but obviously, it did that, too. The addition of young talent in trades that cut the MLB payroll, coupled with Minnesota having no major prospects graduate from eligibility this year, though Luke Keaschall is close, helped the Twins move up. Minnesota has been in the top 10 farm systems since the end of the 2023 season. The talent is largely in the upper minors and will be relevant to the big league team next year. There's also quality depth here, with the third most prospects above 40 FV of any system. The Brewers are bordering on the Breaking Bad, he can't keep getting away with this meme as they continually field a competitive, if not excellent, big league team on a shoestring budget, but also have young players regularly appearing in the big leagues and have a strong farm system. The Brewers might have 4 players get votes for Rookie of the Year this season: Jacob Misiorowski, Isaac Collins, Caleb Durbin, and Chad Patrick. It should be no surprise that Milwaukee also leads the league in quality depth in its farm system, too. The Brewers and Rays lead the "how do they keep doing this" teams, but the Guardians are quietly in third by being competitive, if not good, almost every year. 2B Travis Bazzana, the #1 pick in 2024, is tracking like another impact-type talent as soon as next season, while deadline acquisition RHP Call Steven might be the next standout pitcher who wasn't a high pick. There's depth to the system and lots of solid contributors, but keep an eye on outfielders Chase DeLauder, can he stay healthy? And Jace Laviolette, can he make enough contact? Who both have star potential if it all clicks. The Tigers might have the best top of the system in baseball, with 2 of the top 6 prospects and 5 of the top 60, but their depth has been reduced because of several graduations and some deadline deals. Shortstop Kevin McGonigal and center fielder Max Clark have star potential and will be on the verge of the big leagues next season, but I could see them either not getting a chance to debut or getting a taste late in the season to preserve their 2027 Rookie of the Year/prospect promotion incentive possibilities. I'm also intrigued by the Tigers' high-variance draft approach this summer as they took the 2 top high school position players with the shortest track record of facing high-end pitching, Jordan Yost and Michael Oliveto. As Chaim Bloom takes the reins from John Mozeliak as president of baseball operations after the season, the card system is in the best shape it has been in years. They ranked 10th after the 2022 season. J.J. Wetherholt and Liam Doyle are the most recent first-round picks and are also potentially impactful rookies for the 2026 club. There are more questions regarding the other top prospects. Quinn Matthews and Tink Hence had up-and-down seasons. Cooper Jerp and Tico Arobi have serious arm injuries, and Rainiel Rodriguez and Joshua Baez came out of nowhere. Overall, there is solid depth in the system and with the young talent in the big leagues, so I'm intrigued to see how Bloom handles the team-building challenge. The Marlins continue to trend up as they add young players. Miami's farm system was ranked 29th before the 2024 season, number 19 at this time last year, and number 15 entering the season. LHP Thomas White has emerged as a potential ace, and LHP Robbie Snelling and CF Jacob Marcy led the charge of arrow-up prospects. SS Iva Arquette and CF Cam Canarella were the top players added in the draft. I think the peak ranking for this wave of talent probably comes at some point next year, maybe post-draft. White is still considered a prospect, meaning many of Miami's top prospects will be on the big league team at some point next season. The O's had the top farm system in the game through the 2024 trade deadline and then dropped to 14th before this season as their best young players continued to graduate to the majors. They seem to have stabilized with this next wave of talent, and it looks like C. Samuel Basallo and of Dylan Beavers will narrowly keep their prospect status for this winter. The group behind those 2 emerged this season, with RHP Trey Gibson, CF Nate George, and RHP Esteban Mejia all taking a big step forward. Meanwhile, having the largest 2025 draft pool led to a big incoming group of prospects led by C/RF Ike Irish, SS Wehiwa Aloy, CF Slater DeBrun, and C. Caden Bodine. The Jays hit a home run with their top 3 picks in the 2024 draft. First-rounder RHP Trey Yesevich is the 35th ranked prospect in sport. Second-rounder RHP Call Steven, now with the Guardians after a deadline deal, is the 59th ranked prospect, and third-rounder LHP Johnny King is inside the top 150 prospects. The Jays proved they can replicate that success with position players by drafting shortstop Arjun Amala in 2023, and they'll look to do it again with 2025 first-rounder JoJo Parker.